My name's Glenn Hankinson. I'm here with David BUGWASH, the co-founder and senior property coach at BUGWASH Property, and we're here to have a chat about the uniqueness of their strategy and what stands them out in their space. So, g'day David, how are you?
Great, thanks mate, how are you?
Good. So mate, can you just tell us a bit about what is unique about your particular property investing strategy?
Yeah, well, I bought my first property going back 2004, and I was really keen to get stuck into the process. So within a 9-year period, I got in there and got up to about 29 properties, I think, and it went well for that first 9 years because of the market I was investing in was growing nicely, and it was easy to continue to get my properties valued every 6 to 12 months. I'd take out the equity in those properties and use that for seed money to get the next one, and so on and so on. And when you're investing in a rising market, not only your property prices going up, your rents are going up, so your cash flow is great. But then after a period of time, the market stopped growing, like markets always eventually stop growing. And then once the market flattened out and then started to dip, property values stopped rising and actually started to head downwards, and so did the rents. So I learned some very harsh lessons along the way, and that is that when you look at things properly, holding investment properties through long periods of time where you're not getting any growth or you're actually going backwards is tough, very painful, and it's just not very pleasant at all, especially the bigger your portfolio. So I sat down one day and I thought, well, what if there was a way, what if there's actually a way you could work out when to get into a market and then when to get out of a market, so you didn't have to hold properties through this period of years where you didn't make any money or you lost money.
Which is probably the experience of a lot of people with property investing.
Well, just about everybody. Yeah, so I identified over the years that property actually works in cycles. There's 4 phases to every cycle. You've got your boom phase where all the money's made, and then you go through to the slowdown phase, which is where prices stop going up and start to flatten out. Then you've got the slump phase of the cycle where prices can go down, sometimes 20, 30, 40% depending on exactly how things are going. And then it moves into the recovery phase of the cycle where prices stop going down, flatten out again, before you go back to the boom phase of the next cycle. But for 3 of those phases out of the 4, you don't make any money or you're losing money. So it's really tough holding property, especially multiple properties, through that part of the cycle.
And I see on your diagram that you guys have done what looks like an extensive amount of research from your research and your experience as to what the indicators are for each of those phases.
Yeah, well, what we worked out, Glenn, was that the main thing to look for was massive job creation, because where there's jobs, there's growth. So when you get to a stage in a town or a city where there's more jobs than the local population can take up, people come in from out of town, and most people don't want to buy straight away. They want to rent until they can work out what part of town they want to live in. So that puts a lot of pressure on the rental market. And then when you've got your rents, when the rents have gone up enough for long enough, then we know that property prices go up after that. So we look for jobs. We look for rental increases. Then we know the prices are going to increase. Then on the other side of things, we look for the opposite. We look for, when it comes time to know when to get out of the market, we look for massive job losses, because we know that then people are going to start moving out of town, rents start to plateau, then go down, which means prices do the same, so it's time to get out. So it's all about knowing when to get in. I mean, there's a bit more to it than that, but in general, it's just about knowing when to get in, when to get out, what the indicators are, so that you can save years and years of pain and suffering holding all these properties through periods of time where you don't make any money.